North 5 to 15 miles per hour. Overnight tonight, showers and storms possible with lows around 60. With Omaha's most accurate weather team, I'm 6 News meteorologist Brad Sugden on News Radio 1110 KFAB.
52 now in Omaha, Council Bluffs, 50 in Lincoln.
Schrock Innovations presents Nebraska's #1 independent computer repair company with offices in Omaha and Lincoln. This is Compute This.
Good morning, folks, and welcome into Compute This. My name's Thor Schrock. I'm the owner of the Schrock Innovations Computer Company with service centers in Lincoln, Omaha, and Papillion. At Schrock Innovations, we fix your broken computer. We can recover data off your crashed hard drive that's no longer working properly. That's a real big one when we can do that for people. We had a customer that came into the service center, and a couple examples here. We had one person who came into the service center, bought a brand new, not a holiday special, a brand new Ultimate upgrade this fall. Brand new computer, brand new hard drive. It was a desktop. It wasn't like a laptop that was getting kicked around a lot. He comes in because it wouldn't boot. It's under warranty, no charge. We put it up on the bench and we check it out. The arms inside the hard drive, the heads, had become stuck to the spinning platters. Don't ask me how that happens, right? I mean, they're supposed to float like an airplane wing. That's why they call it a head crash, because they literally crash into the surface. And it tore the tips of these heads off. They were like rattling around in the drive. And, you want to look at the customer like, what'd you do? But, he didn't do anything. It just happened. So you have those catastrophic failures. Then you have, on the other hand, we had a customer yesterday, go Big Red, woo woo, and I get an alert that comes across my my phone that says customer XYZ, I'm not going to give her name here, obviously, has a bad hard drive. Her C drive in her computer is down to 10%. I'm like, whoa. Now, this is a Drive Advisor alert. So Drive Advisor alerts our customers, and we try to keep the creepy factor down. We don't bother you. Like, I like to know when Drive Advisor is working, so I get alerts that are sent to my email that, hey, one of our customers has a bad hard drive. And, then I'll get one a couple weeks later for the same customer, and we don't do anything. But I noticed that hers, number one, hers had dropped from 100% to 10%. That is a huge event. Something really bad happened to that hard drive. Secondly, she has a yahoo.com email address, which means when Drive Advisor sends her the email alert that her hard drive just dropped from 100% to 10%, it's very likely that Yahoo is going to scrape that into spam. Oh, boy. So, we call the customer, tell her, this is what's going on. And she's like, oh, my gosh, thank you. I had no idea. And oh my gosh, this is a great example of how with Drive Advisor, we can try to do everything right. It's a completely free program. It doesn't cost anything. There's no ads. There's no revenue model, nothing like that. You get an alert that says your hard drive's going bad so you can take care of it before you end up like that poor guy with the heads torn off his hard drive. That's the whole point of Drive Advisor. It's free. You can get it at driveadvisor.com. Drive Advisor, because we're American. driveadvisor.com. You can go pick that up. It's free. Download it. You do have to install it. I had someone honestly ask me that question. I've downloaded it 5 times and it doesn't do anything. Did you install it? Oh, yeah. Okay. I'll call you back. You got to double click it to get it going on the computer. So, we do all things like data recoveries, not just recovering the data, but preventing it. We had a RAID 5 recovery that we just finished in the data recovery lab where we recovered 3 different virtual machines with thousands of encrypted files on them that the customer, they were encrypted by the customer. It was a desired encryption as opposed to the forced undesired encryption we're going to talk about on the program today. We do all that stuff over there. Website design services, I kind of mentioned this yesterday, and I had a couple calls on it over the last week, but we are going to be launching a new website for Schrock Interactive, actually. The one we have, if you want to chuckle, you can go to SchrockInteractive.com and take a look at it. It's pretty like, 2012. So it's very George W. Bush era. And so we need to update that a bit. And so we have a brand new website coming out that's going to be amazing. It's great, but we want some really good portfolio pieces for it. And we have a bunch of websites we've done, but with any kind of thing, when you have customers that come to your site, some customers come to your site because they're business owners and they want a website built. Some come because they're churches or other nonprofits and they want a charity site done. Some places come because they're an organization like the Sarah Club. We did a quote for them a while back. There's all sorts of different reasons why people might come to the website and ask for a quote. we're looking for different sectors, basically. We've got a bunch of sectors. We have a few holes in some sectors that we don't have yet. We want to have a portfolio piece that fits each sector so that whoever's coming to Schrock Interactive's new website looking for a website design can look at our most recent work and find something they can identify with. So as a result, if you are looking for a website for your business, church, organization, whatever, you know, and websites normally like $3,500, $4,000 for a really good website. I'm not talking about something you send off to India and, you know, get up at 3 a.m. to talk to the guy from India to make sure everything's going okay. This is designed by Schrock Innovations, by the guys in our service center. Usually takes, you know, 6 to 8, 10 weeks to get done, somewhere in that neighborhood, and it's $3,500 to $4,000. Well, we're talking about doing this for up to 75% off for you if you fit into one of these niches that we're looking for. So don't call the show today and say, hey, I have this business. Do I fit into your niche? Just give me a call in the shop. I'll be in there on Monday. You can give us a call at any of the 3 service centers, and they can get you transferred to whichever one I happen to be at on Monday. But I'd love to talk with you about your business or your organization, what you do, and get you hooked up with a website. 866-496-8772. Those are the numbers to join us on the program this morning. Of course, as we do every week, at the conclusion of the program, we'll draw a name, which we also need to get phone numbers from callers so we can make sure we get them called. If you win the $25 Schrock Innovations gift certificate, Kathy will give you a call from our Lincoln Service Center on Monday. Get your address, because, you know, it's kind of creepy to ask for your address when you call the radio show. Like, we're gonna send the squad to come get you. You know, it's no, not good. And you know, then you get people who, you know, they get confused. Like, I'm on my way to church. Are you looking for me now? Should I give you the church's address, or should I give you my address? No, we just need your phone number. And then we'll put you in the drawing to win a $25 Schrock Innovations gift certificate. Also, if you are happening to jump in the car and you are not the person driving, that's very important, you can watch the show on Facebook. We're streaming live at facebook.com/Schrock Innovations. Also, click like over there as well if you have the opportunity. And if you are watching right now on Facebook, thank you for being there. Please share this with your friends. It helps us get new audience members. We're trying to see how far away we can get. You know, we've got Round Rock, Texas, Carolyn, woo! We've got we had Las Vegas. We had last week. I think we had Santa Barbara last week. So yeah, we're trying to see how far out we can stretch the show, where we can get stuff going. All right, so we got a lot to cover today. Equifax. I was on a couple radio shows this week talking about Equifax and all the goodness that's happened with the leak over there. There is some new news on the Equifax situation, especially. I don't know if we have any listeners in the UK, but if we do, or if you have family in the UK, guess what? Oops. Yeah, we're going to tell you about that. Let's see. Also, there's some resignations now. The heads are rolling over at Equifax. Android malware is still at play. So there's still, something like 4.2 million infections on Android platform. So that's a thing that's going. Have you heard about Apple's new face sign in with your face feature? And if you're being forcibly compelled to sign in with your face, if the Russian mob boss has a hold of your skull, and then, you know, the Black Widow is in front of you, and she has, you know, she's holding your hand and positioning your phone in front of your face. I don't know why she wouldn't just be holding the phone. But anyway, she's holding your hand, and you're in distress. If you squeeze your iPhone, it tells the phone that this is a distress sign-in, and it doesn't sign you in. I mean, they've thought of everything, right? They have thought of everything. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. Also, J.P. Morgan, for those of you who are familiar with the program, I have been known at times to drop a humdinger of a stock tip. You know what I mean? AMD, just saying. Told you it was coming. Boom. 4 times increase. I'm not a financial advisor. Don't put your money where I tell you to put it, because you'll probably lose it, and then you can't hold me responsible. Ha, ha, ha. J.P. Morgan is telling its customers not to buy Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is a fraud, and it's only for use by criminals and North Koreans. Well, in the financial industry, there is a term called a Muppet. And a Muppet is somebody who does what their investment broker says, so they can get all their Muppets moving in one direction, and the investment brokerage moves in the other direction and makes a bunch of money. So we're going to tell you what J.P. Morgan is doing with Bitcoin while they tell their clients that it's just for use by North Koreans. Do you know that North Korea is actually launching Bitcoin mining farms? Yeah, they want to. They're mining Bitcoin, and they're actually cyber attacking South Korean Bitcoin mining farms to give them an advantage. So it's pretty good stuff if you look at it that way. All right. Also, we have talked about this a couple times, and this is where we're going to kick off today. Kaspersky Antivirus. Now, Consumer Reports ranks antivirus programs, and you know, if you've listened to the program for a while, we recommend Symantec Endpoint to protect your computer. It's what I use on my computer. It's what my parents use on their computer. It's what my whole family uses. Even my son has it on his computer, and he doesn't even have a web browser. Like, we lock his stuff down. So he's 11, come on. We lock him down. He's learning how to touch type. He doesn't need the internet to do that right now, or YouTube. Consumer Reports very often will rank different antivirus providers. As we've discussed in the past, Windows Defender is the antivirus that comes with your computer. It is the bare minimum by which other antiviruses should be measured. It is the bottom of the barrel. If it doesn't at least do these 10 things, you can't even call it antivirus. So a lot of people rely on that. That's a really bad decision, but a lot of people rely on it. Some people out of necessity, some people out of procrastination. Some people don't even know they're relying on it because they had McAfee trial or something when they got their Dell and it expired, and then Windows Defender just stepped in and took over. Kaspersky is another very popular antivirus product. It is Russian-made, hence the name. We have talked in the past on the program about how the guy that owns Kaspersky, that created it, is a multimillionaire now. And he is formerly of the KGB. He's good friends with Vladimir Putin, reportedly. I don't know them, so I'm regurgitating news reports here. So at any rate, Consumer Reports ranks them pretty much neck and neck with Symantec. They're pretty good. It's actually pretty good software. They do have some installation issues. When you install it on your computer, if everything is not completely perfect, it'll bunch it up every time. But now the Department of Homeland Security has come out and said, Kaspersky no more. Now, there has been an official ban on Kaspersky antivirus for quite some time because in Russia, there is a law that says any information that transits a Russian network can be co-opted by the Russian government at any time for intelligence purposes. So even if Kaspersky is a straight-up company and they're not doing anything wrong and they're just analyzing files that get sent back to them for antivirus signatures and things like that, if the Russian government knocks on their door and says, we need access to your data streams from the United States, especially computers from these IP addresses, for example, government buildings or government installations, Kaspersky is by Russian law compelled to comply with that request. As a result, now, the Department of Homeland Security is saying not only can official DHS contractors not run Kaspersky, but you can't have a contractor of a contractor, basically, running Kaspersky. So if we give you a contract and you hire on a third-party person to help you with the contract and they're running Kaspersky, now that's disallowed as well, which was the big loophole before for Kaspersky and how they got a lot of business for U.S. government money, basically, which is kind of ironic, for the Russian antivirus maker. So they have now been banned. So the question is, should you remove Kaspersky from your computer now that DHS has banned it from their computers? I will reiterate here that our dog in the race is Symantec Endpoint, and I would much prefer to see you with Symantec Endpoint than I would to see you with Kaspersky or anything else. With that said, objectively, Consumer Reports says it's not bad antivirus software. I mean, they do discover all kinds of things. You might remember when some underhanded country or countries that have officially never really been unveiled, I don't think, created a virus to attack centrifuges. It caused them to spin out of control, which caused something to go wrong, and the centrifuges would break. And this country happened to be under sanction at the time, so it was really, they couldn't just go down to the corner of Happy and Healthy and pick up some new centrifuges from the Walgreens. They had to get them in through various means because they were illegal to order, to buy. This country was Iran, and they were making a nuclear weapon, and Kaspersky discovered that malware that was reportedly created by the U.S. and Israel to set back Iran's nuclear program by years and years and years. Maybe it did, maybe it didn't. The North Koreans beat them, so that's, for what it's worth. So Kaspersky was the company that discovered that malware. So they are very good at doing what they do. They are also very... I don't know if Symantec discovered it and kept quiet, or if they just didn't mess with it, or what the deal was. So Kaspersky on your personal computer. First of all, as an individual, as a person, everybody is very, very concerned about being a target of antivirus, or of viruses and malware and things like that. And we've gone through a huge evolution over time of infections and how they attack you, what they want to do to your computer. Bottom line, guys, and I let's sit down and have a heart-to-heart here. you're not that interesting. They're not that into you. You know, they don't really want your information. They can make a lot more money stealing your Bitcoins than stealing your Social Security check. So some of the bad guys want to encrypt your stuff on your hard drive, which is one of the things that the new Windows 10 Fall Creators Update, we're going to talk about that next, is designed to help protect. But as a result, you know, they want your computer. They want to use your computer to attack other computers. So why would an intelligence agency want to have a botnet of hundreds of thousands of computers that could be used to attack another computer somewhere? There's a lot of reasons for that. Imagine what would have happened if the traffic lights would have gone haywire as Florida was evacuating. Those are all controlled by computers. They weren't officers at the switch boxes. Like, it's not like at a baseball game letting out where they all stand outside by the switch boxes and make all the lights go green. Yeah, they're all controlled by computers. What happens if, you know, in the peak summertime hours, one power plant decides not to auto switch on the grid and send power where it's needed? All of a sudden you have brownouts and blackouts. Here's the question we've had this week in the news. What happens if some company creates an autonomous car, and now thanks to Congress, they don't have to have steering wheels or brake pedals in them anymore? You literally get into a metal and plastic box that takes you to your destination. It's like you're a FedEx package. And you can't stop it. I don't even know if you can open the door to get out until you're there. What if you have to pee? I'm just saying, you know, they could, you know, hack into that, take control of that. I mean, the point is, I would prefer my computers to be covered by something that I can trust, and I trust Symantec. I'm not saying Kaspersky is a bum company. I'm not saying you should have an exodus from Kaspersky. All I'm saying is, when your Kaspersky license expires, when it naturally expires, that would be an excellent time to move over to Symantec Endpoint. If you don't know what you have now, or maybe you have Kaspersky and you're ready to move now, you can go to our website at SchrockInnovations.com, and you can actually purchase Endpoint from our website, install it. You can get it installed on your computer. We email you all the code and everything you need to install it. And then if you have trouble, we'll obviously help you over the Schrock desk getting it installed, and you have the virus-free guarantee from us, where if you get infected, we fix it for free. 866-496-8772. For those of you who say I talk too much, that's because you're not calling. 866-496-8772. All right, we're going to take our first break of the program, guys. When we come back, the Windows 10 Fall Creators Update is coming, and apparently everybody decided this week to pay attention to it, because if you take a look at our website, you'll notice that we are kind of getting short on the Windows 10 Fall Creators Update Schrock Safe upgrade program. So we're going to talk a little bit about that when we come back. Talk about Equifax, what you need to know about the breach, especially if you have friends or family in the UK, coming up next on Compute This.
Schrock Innovations repair technicians also make house calls. Make an appointment and let us bring our award-winning computer support right to your home or business.
Welcome to Schrock Innovations. How can I help you today?
I'm having a problem with my computer.
You're at the right place. We fix problems with computers.
That's why I'm here.
What seems to be the problem with your computer?
When I press the power button, it doesn't boot up. How fast can you fix it?
We're the fastest computer fixer in Omaha. We'll fix it fast.
How fast?
Real fast. Do you have it plugged in when you turn it on?
Of course it was plugged in. Do people make that mistake a lot?
You'd be surprised. When you press the power button, what happens?
It roars, then stops, and sits.
Ooh, like a lion?
Like a what? Well, I suppose.
Sounds like a bad power supply, sir.
Is that bad?
It's not good, but we can fix it fast.
How fast?
How's that for fast?
Does it work?
Yes, sir. More purring, less roaring now.
Wow, that was fast.
Schrock Innovations is the fastest computer repair in Omaha, sir.
That's great, but all this talking is making me hungry. You guys sell sandwiches?
We do fast computer repair. If you want a fast sandwich, you have to go someplace else. Why would we sell sandwiches?
I don't know. All this fast talking is strangely familiar.
Schrock Innovations. If you want a fast sandwich, don't go there. But if you want your computer fixed and back on your desk fast, give them a call or visit their website at SchrockInnovations.com. Compute This Pro Tip 423. Everyone knows you need an antivirus and firewall program for your computer, but which one is the best? Should you use the free ones, pay for a commercial product, or maybe even the free stuff your internet service provider gives you? The absolute worst thing you can do is to install nothing. Windows 10 comes with Windows Defender, but Microsoft never intended it to be your primary antivirus product. Free antivirus like AVG or Avast are more effective than Windows Defender, but Consumer Reports ranks the free antivirus products in the middle of the pack when compared to their commercial competitors. As for the free software from your internet provider, forget about it. It's designed to protect their network, not your computer. There are two products that trade the crown for best antivirus software year after year. Schrock recommends Symantec products like Endpoint, but the Russian-made Kaspersky antivirus program also does an outstanding job. This pro tip brought to you by Schrock Innovations Computer Company.
Your best Husker coverage is right here on Big Red Radio. News Radio 1110 KFAB and KFAB.com.
Alrighty, guys, welcome back into Compute This as we roll on through the show. 866-496-8772. That's a lot of numbers, all right? 866, and then there's a 496, and then there's an 8772. And if you push those on your telephony device, when you have a question or a comment, it connects you with the show. And you can ask your question and get entered in the drawing for $25 from Schrock. It's pretty impressive. And right now your odds of winning are like excelente. Super, super excellent. 866-496-8772. All right. Windows 10 Fall Creators Update is going to be spoon-fed, force-fed with a feeding tube directly into your intestines on October 17th, whether you want it or not. Just like that wonderful castor oil medicine mom used to give you, you're going to take it, and you're going to like it. And if you whine too much about it, you'll get more of it. And, a few kids don't react too well to the castor oil stuff. They might throw up, they might devolve into tears and, sadness and gnashing of teeth. And, it's just a lot of heartache. Well, that's going to be kind of how this goes. The Windows 10 Fall Creators Update is an update. It's called an update from Microsoft, but it's actually an upgrade. Just like when you upgraded from Windows 7 to Windows 10, the Creators Update, these big updates they push out twice a year, you've already had 3 of them. When they push these big updates out, these are upgrades. This is going to a whole new version of Windows with new features, new functions, everything else. One of the big new things that is going to be done is actually something Kaspersky asked for. Hey, Windows Defender, would you please stop stepping in when a customer buys antivirus and they allow it to expire, and Defender steps in and starts, quote-unquote, protecting the computer with what you guys admit is minimally useful software, and it tells the customer they're protected. Some of them think that their Kaspersky is still protecting them. Now, our twist on this one is when you have Symantec Endpoint. You have a laptop. You turn off the laptop at night. You come in the morning and you open it up, and there's a question mark on your endpoint because endpoint is your computer doesn't do stuff when the lid is closed, guys. So it doesn't get updates. It doesn't update its antivirus. You open the lid up, and all of a sudden, endpoint's like, whoa, we're 8 hours out of date. Question marks on everything. We're sorting everything out. Give it a minute, all right? Windows Defender doesn't give it a minute. It literally attempts to disable your endpoint and enable Windows Defender. Sometimes it's successful because Symantec Endpoint is designed to not be allowed to be automatically disabled by anything. So as a result, when it gets automatically, or say try to automatically disable it and send up Windows Defender, you have less protection because it's running. The endpoint's running. It's working. It's doing its thing. It just needs an update. It's downloading it. Give it a minute, okay? But Windows Defender doesn't give it a minute. It just kicks on and takes over the computer, basically, which actually lowers your overall protection. So that's a big problem. And it also causes problem with endpoint sometimes. So that is being corrected in the Fall Creators Update. So you'll expect to have a better antivirus experience there, a more secure experience. One of the other things that's being done is the Fall Creators Update will when Windows Defender is enabled, it gives you a better degree of protection against ransomware than it used to. Because ransomware didn't really exist when Windows Defender came out. Ransomware, for those of you who haven't had the pleasure, is when your computer gets infected by a virus and it scrambles up all your files, it encrypts them so you can't open them. And then it pops up a message on the screen saying, send me 4 billion Bitcoins and we'll unlock your files. And you have 72 hours to come up with the money. And it's like the ticking clock, 24, Jack Bauer comes in and, you're trying to get your files back and it's a nightmare. And then you give the criminals the ransom. And just like in real life, sometimes the hostage gets it anyway. And sometimes they let him go. So it's terrible because once you pay the ransom, you can't get it back. So the bottom line here, guys, is the Windows 10 Fall Creators Update is coming, and 20% of the computers that install it are going to epically fail. I've been trying not to be alarmist about this the last few weeks. I've been trying, I'm sure it's fine. 20%, if you feel like you're going to be in the 20%, which is all well and good for me to do when we have 800 of 1,000 Schrock Safe upgrades in stock to sell you on our website. We're down at this point right now this morning to 188 left. So this last week, we combed through like 600 of these things. Now, for those of you who didn't hear the shows in previous weeks, the Schrock Safe Upgrade is a program that automatically does all of the diagnostic work that we would do with your computer in our service center before it installs the Fall Creators Update. Then it goes through and it downloads the Fall Creators Update from our server, not from Microsoft's server. Our server is an Amazon S3 server. It's fast. Microsoft's server is serving how many hundreds of millions of people? Our server is serving 1,000 or under, and not even all of them at the same time. So you're going to get the download, you're going to get it fast, whereas on some computers it's going to take a month or something to download. It's crazy. So you're going to get the whole download, it's going to get installed on your computer, and once it's installed on your computer will reboot. And if for any reason something doesn't go right, if it doesn't reboot, if it doesn't come back up, if it comes back up and there's no sound, if it comes back up and the picture's wonky, if it comes back up and your antivirus is broken, even if you didn't buy it from us, you have a warranty on that computer. We guaranteed you that your computer would work after the Schrock Safe Upgrade software installed the Windows 10 Fall Creators Update. Obviously, if you had problems before you installed, those are not covered. If your computer's hard drive is bad, the Schrock Safe Upgrade is going to tell you your hard drive is bad and give you the option to continue anyway if you want to, but it's not covered by the warranty. If you have a virus infection on your computer, if you're not running antivirus, it will give you the option to continue. But if your computer fails because it has a virus, that's not covered. So you see what I'm saying? If you're playing the game straight, this is a way for you for $50 to get a guarantee on this installation, because 20% of the people that install this are going to spend $110 to $220 to have us fix their computer after the install. And it's not because of anything we did, and it's not because necessarily of anything you did. Microsoft pushes these updates out, and every single time, I mean, they're testing this update against so many installations, and everyone's installation is different. They're going to have some people that have a certain combination of X, Y, and Z, and it's going to blow up. So here's the thing. You can go to our website at SchrockInnovations.com. You can click on Shop and Specials, and it's the Schrock Safe Upgrade. It's $49.99. We have 188 in stock at this moment. You can go, you can pick up a copy. Remember that this is a per-computer deal. So if you have 2 computers, you need 2 copies. You can't use the same copy on both computers. It will not work. If you would prefer to bring your computer into the service center, this update's coming out on October 17th. So if you prefer to have us do it in the shop rather than doing it with the software at home, maybe you don't buy things online, whatever, you can bring it into the shop. But I'm going to tell you, this is the same software that my guys in the shop are going to be using because it's completely automated. Final question here is I've had some people email over the last week, hey, Thor, I've got Drive Advisor. I know my hard drives are good. I've got Secure Updater. I know my third-party software is up to date. I've got Endpoint. I know I don't have a virus. You've said those are the 3 big things that can cause a Windows 10 Fall Creators Update to fail. If I don't have those problems, do I need to buy the Schrock Safe Upgrade? Here's the thing. I'm trying to walk a very fine line here because it would be disingenuous for me to tell every single person, yes, you should buy this, you should buy the heck out of this. You should buy 1, you should buy 10, you should buy 1 for your family and friends. Oh, yes, call now, 800, That's one side of it. The other side of it is 20% of the people are going to be hurt by this. And if I don't make it sound, I can make it sound, woo, fire and brimstone, scary. And then, a whole bunch of people will buy, and then a bunch of people will say, why did I buy that? Or I can make it sound, okay, it might be a good idea, guys, Mr. Rogers, And then some people will buy it, and then when people get hit, they're going to come into the shop and they're going to say, I wish you would have told us, or I wish you would have said something, or I wish you would have said it with more fervor. So here's the thing. This is the best way I can put it. This program costs $50. It replaces 2 hours of technician time to do this install. That's a pretty good value. Now, here's the thing. 20% of the people, of everybody who has Windows 10, their computer is going to have some problem that's going to require them to come into my service center and get a fix after the Fall Creators Update installs. If you can afford to spend $110 to $220 to fix your computer after an update, you do not need the Schrock Safe Upgrade software. The biggest benefit this stuff gives you is the warranty. The biggest benefit it gives you is the warranty. Because let's face it, if you go to install this and it says, oh, your hard drive is bad, Microsoft's going to automatically install it anyway if you don't get your hard drive fixed. If it comes back and says, oh, you have a virus, you got to get the virus fixed ahead of time beforehand anyway. So actually, the people this is made for are the people that have Endpoint and Secure Updater and Drive Advisor and know their stuff. They come in for their maintenance checks. By the way, the lady that had the bad hard drive from the first segment, she was in for a maintenance checkup in the spring. It can change like that. So check it out. It's SchrockInnovations.com. You click on Shop and you click on Specials, and you can purchase the Schrock Safe Upgrade software. $50 a copy. You need one copy for each computer. 866-496-8772. First caller of the program is Frank. Hey, Frank, stay on the line for us. We're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to come back next and talk about Bitcoin. Super exciting stuff. We're going to make it fun, though. Coming up next on Compute This.
Update all of your third-party apps on your computer with Secure Updater. It keeps all your apps running smoothly and helps block viruses. Download it for free today at secureupdater.com. External hard drives are handy. You can back up multiple computers to them or even use them to move lots of data from one computer to another. Computer users have been buying the same old external hard drives for years. While our computers have been getting faster, we still do backups that take hours or watch epic progress bars creep by to move files. Schrock wanted more for our customers, so our innovators created the fastest external hard drives on the planet. Schrock modular storage devices are up to 50% faster than Seagate or Western Digital externals and are modular in the truest sense of the word. We can create whatever size and speed of drive you need for all of your needs, and all modular storage devices come with a data restoration guarantee. If you use our drives for backing up and your computer's hard drive fails, we'll restore your backup to your repaired computer for free. Fast, simple, and flexible technology solutions from Schrock Innovations. It's what we do. Compute This pro tip number 753. Have you ever wondered how the bad guys always seem to find a way into your computer? Gone are the good old days of email worms and I love you viruses. Nobody wants to steal your data anymore, or in many cases even your identity. Today's cyber criminals want to sell access to your computer or hold your data for ransom. The bad guys are exploiting zero-day vulnerabilities to break into systems that are supposed to be hack-proof. These vulnerabilities are always newly discovered, and the criminals have a brief time to exploit them before they get patched. Antivirus and firewalls do not prevent these attacks, but you can minimize your computer's exposure by installing all security patches as quickly as possible. The average computer needs 12 patches a week. That's not including the ones that are automatically delivered to your computer. Boost your cybersecurity by staying on top of it manually, or use a patch installation program like Secure Updater to get your computer the patches it needs. This pro tip is brought to you by Schrock Innovations Computer Company.
In Florida, residents of the battered Lower Keys are heading back this morning. A convoy of cars driving the chain of bridges linking the Keys. ABC's Victor Oquendo has more.
Half of Key West is still without power, and across the state, there are still more than 600,000 customers without power. Florida Power and Light working very hard to get things back up and running. Their original goal was to get the East Coast back up by the end of the day today. As far as the West Coast, they were aiming at the middle of the week.
ABC's Victor Oquendo. 3 storms are threatening parts of the Atlantic. Hurricane Jose expected to come closest to the East Coast, and Tropical Storm Maria expected to strengthen this week, taking aim at Caribbean islands again. Britain remains on high alert. The terror threat level is critical in the wake of Friday's subway bomb attack. Police making a second arrest late Saturday in West London. It followed the earlier arrest of an 18-year-old in the port of Dover. The improvised explosive device injured 30 people. Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
Now, the News Radio 1110 KFAB Weather Watch.
Temperatures will rise into the lower 70s by this afternoon. We'll have partly cloudy skies, mostly cloudy at times. Small possibility of a light shower, but many of us will remain on the dry side. Winds will be out of the north, 5 to 15 miles per hour. Overnight tonight, showers and storms possible with lows around 60. With Omaha's most accurate weather team, I'm 6 News meteorologist Brad Sugden on News Radio 1110 KFAB.
52 now in Omaha, Council Bluffs, 50 in Lincoln.
This is Nebraska's news, weather, and traffic station. News Radio 1110 KFAB and KFAB.com, an iHeart radio station.
All righty, guys, welcome back in. Second half. We've made our halftime adjustments, and we are back now. 866-496-8772. You're listening to Thor Schrock on Compute This, owner of the Schrock Innovations Computer Company with 3 locations, Lincoln, Omaha, and Papillion. All of them are open Saturday from 10 to 8, Sunday from noon to 5, so you can swing in with your computer, get the work done you need to get done, and get it back right quick. Let's jump into those phones, 866-496-8772. And Frank, you've been patient with us. I appreciate you holding. How can I help you today on Compute This?
Well, I've seen all this information about Bitcoins. Does it make sense for a homeowner to set up a machine to do this, or is this a trend that's kind of passed us all by?
Gotcha. Well, there used to be, the very first Bitcoin transaction ever done. So Bitcoin was originally just like a cool little side project that some kid made up, that you'd solve these math problems, and as a result, you would earn these coins. And then people said, well, I can get my computer to solve the math problems, and that's really cool because I'm cool and I can earn these worthless coins. And then the math problems got more and more complex, and then it evolved into what Bitcoin is today. The very first transaction was some kid thought it would be really cool. He talked to one of his buddies who worked at a local pizza joint, and he bought a pizza for like 2,077 Bitcoin or something stupid. The delivery man who delivered that pizza and took the Bitcoin probably paid for the pizza out of pocket just because, hey, I thought it'd be cool to go, sell a, pizza for Bitcoin. If he still has those Bitcoins today, valued at nearly $4,000 a coin. Yeah, that's one wealthy pizza delivery guy. And so it's hard not to get caught up into like, oh, wow, I want to be part of the Bitcoin revolution and make all this money and everything else. And it's got the element of tulip bulbs, where you're like, this is something like, it's not real. It's all numbers in the ether, and people assign this emotional value to it. And then on the other hand, I can go to newegg.com and buy computers with this. So it's got to have some value, right? Bottom line, Frank, as far as doing it at home, there is still some room for the hobbyist to get involved in Bitcoin. It's nothing you're going to be able to do with your home computer, unfortunately. Your home computer is nowhere near powerful enough. The graphics cards are nowhere near powerful enough to mine Bitcoin. We're giving a tour to the guys that are designing the new Papillion Service Center. I wanted them to see what the old Service Center looks like, the current one, so that I can show them why we're changing what we're changing, and they're incorporating the design elements into the new design. So I'm showing him the Bitcoin and the Ethereum farms that we have in our service centers, and he's looking at all these machines, and he's like, well, this has to earn you a ton of money. And I'm like, no, actually, it earns us about $240 a month, and we're not nowhere near industrial scale. And the reason we need the Bitcoin is when people get hit with these ransom infections, we can pay the ransom for them. They don't have to go try to buy the Bitcoin for exorbitant amounts of money from local people, selling them. The answer to your question, there's no simple answer to it, but the simplest distilled answer I can give you is you're not going to be able to do it with your computer at home. But if you had $500 to $1,000 you wanted to drop on eBay, you could buy used Bitcoin mining equipment that's just a generation old. That's enough to kind of get you into the game, so to speak, where you're earning, every 4 months or so you get a tenth of a Bitcoin. And then if you think Bitcoin's going to go up to 10 grand, well, then a tenth of a Bitcoin is a pretty good investment for $400 or $500, isn't it? On the other hand, you could just go buy the Bitcoin at Coinbase.com and have a tenth of a Bitcoin and sit on it that way. It's a lot less work. So if you want the hobbyist part of it, you could do it yourself. Otherwise, it's probably just cheaper to buy the Bitcoin.
Well, I don't want the hobbyist part, so I thank you for your answer.
Hey, no problem, Frank. Thanks for your call today. Appreciate you joining us on the show. All right, Frank is in the drawing for the $25 Schrock Innovations gift certificate, 866-496-8772. And trailing on with that, J.P. Morgan has called Bitcoin a, quote, fraud, only for use by criminals and North Koreans. All right, so if you were in Venezuela or Ecuador or North Korea or a bunch of places like that, if you're a drug dealer, a murderer, and stuff like that, you are better off doing it in Bitcoin than U.S. dollars, he said, according to The Guardian. So there may be a market for that, but it would be a limited market. Okay, so what JP Morgan is saying publicly is that Bitcoin has an anonymity to it. If it's used correctly, it is actually traceable to some extent if you're using it improperly. If you use it properly and smartly, you can effectively launder money with it. So there is a criminal component there. Criminals like it because you can't see what they're doing. Libertarians like it because you can't see what we're doing. Now, technically, Bitcoin is a careful what you wish for kind of thing, because every transaction that you ever do in Bitcoin is forever and forever, ever, ever recorded in the blockchain. It will never go away, which means if you say assign a citizen a specific number, we would never do that, though. Like we're going to assign you a Bitcoin account that you have required to use for your entire life, and it'll be like the number that identifies you in society for everything that Equifax could lose. Oh, yeah, wait, we did do that. Social Security number. Let's just say they assign you a number that is your Bitcoin address number. And now anybody can go to the blockchain at any time if they have your Bitcoin address number and look at every financial transaction that you've ever done. They can get an instantaneous, all of your assets are recorded there. All of your liabilities are recorded there. So we can get an instant credit check. We don't need places like Equifax anymore. We don't need banks anymore. We don't need investment houses anymore. Wow, that whole industry goes away. I wonder why JP Morgan doesn't like the blockchain. On the other hand, they're running out of bubbles to blow. You know, we need something we can put some money into, right? So this is headline from ZeroHedge.com. If Jamie Dimon hates Bitcoin so much, why are they buying Bitcoin in Europe? Unless you've been hiding under a rock for the past week, you'll be aware JP Morgan CEO Jamie Dimon's panicked outburst about the fraud that is Bitcoin. He even called it tulip bulb-like. Hey, I did too. Because it's going crazy, right? It's going parabolic right now, and there's no reason for it except for the fact that everybody thinks that people like JP Morgan are buying it behind the scenes in anticipation of a Bitcoin ETF. They're going to do it just like gold. They're not going to buy the Bitcoin and hold the Bitcoin. They're going to create a piece of paper that says this piece of paper is worth this much Bitcoin, and they're going to trade the paper. They don't trade bars of gold on Wall Street. They trade pieces of paper that says this paper is worth a bar of gold. That's what they're going to do. And that's what, when that happens, Bitcoin will get a pop from that, just like gold got a pop. And then eventually it'll get manipulated, just like gold gets manipulated. The price of gold is like, what, $1,300 an ounce right now? It makes no sense. Anecdotally, Bitcoin Tracker is an open-ended exchange traded in Sweden. It looks like they're buying Bitcoin on this exchange. And there's a meme. It says, here's Jamie Dimon, Bitcoin is a fraud. And the next scene, he's like, hey, what price did we get in at? So, yeah, it's 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. And the bottom line is nobody knows what Bitcoin is going to do. Nobody knows if it's going to become a currency in itself that's forever respected. The reason, in Venezuela, we have an employee who is from Venezuela. He works in our service center. He's a citizen of the United States. He emigrated from Venezuela. He has family there. So he is very close to what's going on in Venezuela. And he says right now, the best thing you could do for a Venezuelan is to send them an old, outdated Bitcoin miner that isn't energy efficient enough. I've got a stack of them in my service center. I'm like, really? Can they use these? Can I send these to your family? Because, I don't have any use for them. I'm just going to I hold on to them in case Bitcoin goes to like 10 grand and suddenly it makes sense to run these old systems again. But he's like, no, they're actually, in Venezuela, the power is subsidized. It's like pennies a month. So you run your Bitcoin miner and you can actually create income that you can use to feed your family in Venezuela because the bolivar isn't worth anything and they don't want US dollars. So what do? Bitcoin is an equalizer. From a libertarian perspective, it allows you to transact business without anyone knowing your business. It allows you to cut out all the middlemen and all the fees. My roof got ripped off in the storm. I got a $13,000 check from my insurance company. I deposited in my bank account. There is a 7-day hold on that, 7 business day hold on that money. My roofer's calling me, hey, can we get paid? And I'm like, love to. I don't want to write you a check because I still don't have the money in my account. I call my local community bank. It's not one of the big ones. This is the local community bank. And they said, it was kind of funny. It was the canned response, but it made me chuckle. Thor, now that we've seen you've had this kind of history on your account in the past, next time it happens, you won't be a 7-day hold. I'm like, good golly, I hope my roof doesn't get ripped off again, golly. So this is the kind of stuff. Bitcoin is instantaneous. You send it, you receive it, it's done. So anyway, it's a funny thing when you hear these guys talking about how Bitcoin is this or Bitcoin is that. Take it with a grain of salt because it's not always the case. Laura on Facebook writes, this is my first time watching instead of listening. I'm hooked. I'm wondering about online backup services. Are they worth it? Any recommendations? All right. In a nutshell, online backup services. Carbonite and Mozy are the two biggest. Carbonite and Mozy both do backups. They both back up files. They both have files that are automatically excluded from your backups. They don't back up video files or any files over 2 gigabytes in size. Also, if you have to restore your data, let's say you were, in the Keys and everything got wiped out by the flood and you're like, never mind, I got Carbonite. Well, when you restore it, you get your new computer and you set it up, it could take 3 to 5 days of downloading to get your files all downloaded again. So it's worth it from the perspective of having an off-site backup, something in a different geographic location that is backing up your computer. On the other hand, it also makes sense to have a local backup that you can hold in your hand, that if you have to run out the door in an evacuation scenario, you can grab that external hard drive and run out the door. You don't have to download it. You don't have to upload it. Also, when you send your data to these services, they have ownership of it. They literally, in their terms of service, they take ownership of your data. It's, for the conspiracy-minded among us, it's something to think about. All right, thank you, Laura. We welcome you on Facebook. Thanks for joining us there, and thank you for the question. We appreciate it. 866-496-8772. Taking the final break. Then it's phones all the way through. Mike, Blaine, Don, Dorothy, and Dale. Your calls coming up next on Compute This.
Now you can configure and purchase laptops, desktops, tablets, and more, all at the new SchrockInnovations.com. Check out our specials for one-of-a-kind discounts and deals. Schrock Innovations has spent nearly 2 decades working to make your technology life easier, and the all-new SchrockInnovations.com is no exception. Now you can order new modular computers and solid-state laptops directly from our website, secure your computer with our virus-free guaranteed semantic endpoint software, find innovative new technologies like our modular storage devices, and get free help and tips. Take a look at the specials section to find sales on one-of-a-kind items, display models, refurbished units, and our latest special offers. Swing by the Compute This page to watch TV segments and archived radio shows, or even get one-on-one help through the Schrock Desk. As always, we respect your privacy, so we secure our website with the latest encryption technology and only the most secure payment methods. You can pick up your purchases at any of our 3 service centers or have them shipped directly to your door. The new SchrockInnovations.com makes technology simple. It's what we do. Compute This pro tip number 187. Recently, you may have received a phone call from someone claiming to be from Microsoft or had a message pop up on your screen telling you that your computer was infected. Do not respond to these calls or messages. They're always a scam. Microsoft will never call you about your computer. Here's how the scam actually shakes out. You get the phone call that your computer's infected. The scammers hit you with some mumbo-jumbo about an infected IP address. They'll ask your permission to connect and help you fix it. Once they're in your computer, they do a bunch of fake scans that detect a lot of problems that really aren't there. You see the scan results and figure, your computer's in trouble. Next, the scammers will demand up to $400 to clean up the computer and set you up with a lifetime protection. Don't fall for the scam. Keep good security software installed, like Endpoint and Secure Updater, so when things like this do happen, you know you are covered. This pro tip brought to you by Schrock Innovations Computer Company.
Hi, this is Chris Baker. I hope you're having a great weekend, and don't forget to check out the blog. Maybe I'm not on the air, but I'm certainly going to be writing. KFAB.com, keyword Chris.
Alrighty, guys, welcome back into Compute This. My name's Thor Schrock. I'm the owner of the Schrock Innovations Computer Company, but yet you already knew that. 866-496-8772. Let's jump in. Mike, you're next up on the program. How can I help you today on Compute This?
Good morning, Thor.
Hey, Mike, how are you doing?
Hey, I'm hanging in there, doing pretty good, kiddo.
Awesome, awesome. What can I do for you?
Okay, I got a pop-up from Windows Defender Security Center, and it has app and browser controls. It says Smart Screen for Windows Store apps is off. Your device may be vulnerable. And it says turn on. Do I just leave it or turn it on?
You can leave it as long as you have Endpoint installed, and I think you do, Mike, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, then you're fine. You're fine.
Okay, I just wanted to check.
That's exactly what probably is this your tablet, Mike?
No, it's a computer I got from you.
Was it? Did you leave it on all the time, or did you have it turned off recently?
I leave it on all the time.
Okay. The reason I ask is this is one of those things that's going to be fixed by the Fall Creators Update. That's Windows Defender popping up in your face saying, "Oh, we need to protect you better." That's going to go away after the Fall Creators Update.
Okay. I bought the package from you too on that. So
awesome. You're good to go, Mike. We'll take care of you.
Okay.
All right. Say hi to all the fam in Wahoo.
I will. Have a good day.
You too. Have a great day. All right. 866-496-8772. Blaine, you're next up on the program. How can I help you today and Compute This?
Hi, I got the latest Windows update, and it's got a envelope down in the toolbar now, which apparently they do the email directly.
Okay.
Is that safe to use that?
Absolutely. Yeah, you can use that. It's just an alert that pops up in the alert tray. The alerts have always been there. It's just now they're being displayed a little differently. So, yep. Good to go.
Now, that uses Edge, doesn't it?
It does, yes.
Is that safe?
Edge is safe. Internet Explorer, however, is not. If people out there are still using the blue E with the little halo, Internet Explorer, that needs to stop. I've had 3 people in the service center this week that were like, my Internet Explorer isn't working right. And that's what they came in to have me fix. And I'm like, it's not working right because it's a dead browser and you're infected up the wazoo with all this stuff because you're using Internet Explorer. We need to switch you away. And then, change, no, and I understand, but unfortunately, there's sometimes when you have to do it for your own good. But Edge is completely safe. If you have something that doesn't work on Edge, go ahead and try it on Firefox or Chrome. There are some sites that are still a little wonky when it comes to Edge.
Okay. I've been using Firefox.
There you go.
Should I just keep doing that then?
That's what I use, yeah. If Edge pops open once in a while because of an alert notification, it's not the end of the world. But I prefer Firefox. The guys at the shop like Chrome. It's just a personal preference thing.
Okay, but the envelope down here in the toolbar, that's going to get me onto Edge, all right?
Well, the envelope in the toolbar is going to open up your email program and show you the message. Now, if your default browser for your email, who do you use for email?
Gmail.
Gmail? Okay. So when you get the envelope down there giving you an announcement of a new mail message, it should open up in your default browser. So when you open up Firefox, does it ask you if it needs to become the default browser?
No.
Okay. So if it's not the default browser, that means at some point it was told to never ask again. Because if you open up a link or something like that, if it opens up in Edge, that means Edge is your default browser. That's the go-to for the computer. And if you want that go-to to be Firefox, you can go into your apps control panel and you can actually change the default so that it goes to Firefox instead of Edge. That way when the envelope comes up, it takes you to Firefox. Does that make sense?
I think so.
You think so? All right, I'll tell you what. I'm running out of time, but if you have questions or you need help doing that, give us a call in the service center. We're open Saturday from 10 to 8, Sunday from noon to 5. And this is something we can walk you through in like 2 minutes or less. Just checking what your default browser is and getting that changed up for you. So it's super easy. You just go to your control panel, you click on apps, and you go to default apps. And it's right there. In email, maps, music player, photo viewer, my web browser says Firefox. And you can change them all right there.
Great.
All right, sounds good. Thank you for the call. I appreciate it. Blaine, you're next up on the show today. Or was that Blaine? That was Blaine. I'm sorry. Don, you're next up on the show. I bet you thought I was shifting you there. How can I help you today on Compute This?
Yeah, Thor, thank you very much. I have a question about the Fall Creators Update on Windows 10.
Absolutely.
Will they simplify the screen print function? Now you got to go through about 3 or 4 steps, which always seems to trip me up. I used to be able to, when I used to work and I had a full-time job, you could just point and drag, or you just hit the screen print, and it would just print what was on the screen.
Gotcha.
And now you have to go through these other steps in Windows 10.
Yeah, part of the issue there is a lot of people have more than one screen now. And so if you just hit print screen, I remember that was I think it was Patriot Games, was the Tom Clancy movie back in the day. And Harrison Ford, he just caught them in the big lie, and he's just mashing the print screen button, and it's printing out. And then the guy comes in, he holds up the paper, and he's like, gotcha. You can't do that anymore. You can't just hit print screen. They still put the print screen button on the keyboard, but it doesn't actually print the screen, which is wow, it's like a spleen. Why do we have it? So now what you can do is if you hit print screen, it actually saves a snapshot of what's on the screen, and you can paste it somewhere else and install it. But there's a ton of third-party software out there that makes taking screenshots and snapshots way easier, where you can select the focus of the screenshot and everything else. So to answer your question, they're probably not going to change that functionality at all.
Okay. So there are other ways of making it simpler, though.
Well, there are other ways to do it. None of them are going to be simpler than pressing a button and having your printer spit out a piece of paper. That's about it. That's about as simple as it gets, unfortunately, and then that doesn't work anymore.
Oh, darn. Yeah, I like it simple.
All right.
That I can understand when you just hit one button and it made it a lot more simple.
And the button says what it's going to do, print screen.
Yeah.
Oh, I wanted to print my screen. I don't know what. Below it says system RQ, a system request. I don't know what I'm doing. Pause and break. It's there too still. All right, Don, thanks for the call. I appreciate it. All right, Dave, you're next up. Dave, what can I do for you today on Compute This?
I've been getting a lot of emails lately telling me that my Amazon order has been canceled, and I need to click here in order to go ahead and verify or finish the counseling process.
Yeah.
And then I started getting, the FedEx package one's been going around for quite some time.
'Tis the season almost.
Lately, I've been getting a bunch of thank you for your, iPhone purchase, which I don't own an iPhone. And I do check my bank accounts. Nothing's been drained because I haven't clicked on anything. I just want to verify the point of infection is when I click on the link or I try to download the little thing that says I just have to open this right now to verify whatever. Is that the point of infection?
Great question.
Open up
No, this is an excellent question because these scammy emails, basically the emails all have one thing in common. They will all have a link that supposedly takes you someplace important. If I get one that says, hey, your Amazon thing isn't good, Amazon never puts a link back to Amazon in their emails. So if you get one from Amazon and it doesn't have a link, it's real. If it has a link, it's not real. Same thing with eBay. Same thing with all of them now because there's so many fake emails flying around trying to get people to click the link. The point of infection, this is why Secure Updater is so important. This is why it's important to keep your third-party software up to date. I get you to click the link in your email. You click it. You jacks you off using your Internet Explorer browser to, myrussianhackingwebsite.com, and all of a sudden I detect that you're running an outdated version of Java, and bam! Guess what? Now you're infected. And now I can use your computer to infect other computers. I can grab your address book and send all your friends email messages that say they're from you. Oh, check out this amazing cat video. You'll never believe what this cat did this time. And then, your friends are like, it's kind of unusual for Dave to be sending me cat videos, but no, he is Dave, and he's kind of weird like that. So I think I'll click on his link. Click, and then they get infected too. And then they blame you, and it's an uncomfortable Thanksgiving. We're going to see a lot more of these emails as the Christmas season comes along, Dave. The best thing to do is just to ignore them. You don't open them. If you open the email, it's not going to hurt you. If you click the link, that's when the trouble starts. So don't click the links in emails is what it amounts to. If you get an email from a trusted place, like if I send you an email that said, hey, Schrock Safe and Sword, we only have your safe upgrade. We only have 50 units left for sale. Check it out now. You heard me talk about that on the radio. You can probably click that link. But Amazon saying, hey, your purchase is bad, whatever. Thank you very much for the call, Dave. I appreciate you joining us on the program. We got you in the drawing for the $25 Schrock Innovations gift certificate, which goes to Dale. Congratulations, Dale. Kathy will be getting a hold of you on Monday as promised to get you your $25 certificate. You can use that toward one of the safe upgrade products if you prefer. And stay tuned for the After Schrock show at facebook.com/Schrock Innovations, and we'll be back next week for another exciting edition of Compute This.
This is Nebraska's news, weather, and traffic station. This is News Radio 1110, KFAB, Omaha.
From ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. In Florida, residents of the battered Lower Keys are heading back this morning. A convoy of cars driving the chain of bridges linking those keys. ABC's Victor Okendo has more.
Half of Key West is still without power, and across the state, there are still more than 600.
I'll ask Dennis about something. We had 2 minutes of dead air last Saturday. It'd be nice if we had a button.
Oh boy, guys, you never guess who is producing the show with me today. I have none other than Scott Voorhees in studio this morning, and I actually am more awake than Scott Voorhees. I don't know how that's possible, but no, he's doing a great job over here, and I kind of feel like I should trade spots with him. Like he should be over here doing the show, not me. But anyway, so we're going to jump on for our After Schrock show here for a few and see if you guys have any additional questions or things that you couldn't get asked during the show. We stacked up there at the end. All the phone lines were full all of a sudden. We went the first half of the show, we had not a single caller, and the second half of the show was like boom. I've often joked maybe we should start doing the show at 7:30, and then that way by the time everybody's awake and calling, that we'll be there. But I think it actually takes like a half an hour for everyone to work up the nerve to call. Or maybe they're just that interested in what I'm saying. No, it couldn't be that. So anyway, if you have any questions or comments, you can go ahead and post them there, facebook.com/Schrock Innovations, but you already knew that because if you're listening right now, that's where you're at. Let's see, what do we have that didn't make the show today? Equifax. We've all heard about Equifax so much, I didn't really prioritize it on the show. But basically, the Equifax deal, 400,000 UK customers were in this breach, which is a little odd considering that the UK has a law that says information about its citizens must be stored on their shores. So how did 400,000 UK customers end up in a US server breach? Process failure is what the answer to that is. In a completely unrelated story, Equifax Chief Information Officer and Chief Security Officer stepped down. 1 week after revealing a massive data breach, Equifax announced 2 of its executives are retiring effective immediately. And I'm just telling you, nobody wants to go to the bathroom in their bed and lay in it. You're going to get out of bed. You're going to leave. You're done. You're gone. And, sometimes your wife will kick you out of bed. And maybe you think you're leaving the bed, but no, you're getting kicked out of the bed. That's what's happening here. So basically, these guys are stepping down. As I've said before, I feel kind of sorry for Equifax to some extent, because the thing that allowed this breach to happen was a 0-day vulnerability in Apache that was announced 2 days before this whole thing happened. It was made public 2 days before Equifax got hit. There was no patch available. It wasn't like they didn't patch the system. And the headline said Equifax and their unpatched systems. Well, nobody had it because there wasn't a patch. So you can't really blame Equifax for not patching something that didn't exist. On the other hand, Equifax could have protected the information better in its own databases. There are techniques you can use to store information in a database that even if the bad guys get the entire database, it's segmented and basically every customer is assigned a number. And the customers and numbers are saved in a different database, separate from the database, physically separate from the database, where all the customer information is stored and linked by number. And then that way, if the bad guys get one database, they don't get the other one, they're useless without each other. Maybe they got both. I don't know. Maybe they were doing that and they downloaded both. We don't know yet. But the way they handled it after the fact was a complete dumpster fire. Now we're finding out that this is the company and I was asking this to a guy on the phone today, or not today, this week. Whoever told Equifax it was okay to store information on everyone in the country? If I just decided tomorrow to start a company for credit services and I'm going to store every piece of information about you, and somehow, how did they get that? How did they get that silver-plated possibility that they could actually do that? Where did that come from? I don't know how you do that. There's got to be a way. Was there a law passed that said they could do it? Why are there 3 credit bureaus? Why are there 3 big motor companies? What's the rule of 3? Is the rule of 3 a real thing? Why do we have 4-leaf clovers? I don't know. So basically, the Equifax thing is going to continue on. Everyone asks me, Thor, what can I do about it? What should I do about it? There's really not a whole heck of a lot you can do with it. You're just stuck. If you end up in a situation where your identity is stolen because of this, there's not really a recourse. There's a class action lawsuit right now, but I think it was something like, $40 million, and there's 400 million people impacted, or 140 million impacted, and a $40 million lawsuit. The lawyers will get 3/4 of it, and then you'll get 80 cents. And it's going to cost you a lot more than 80 cents if your identity is stolen. So that's a big problem there. Let's see, what else did we not get to today? Android malware in the Google Play. Malware authors cash in on Android users through SMS fraud and unwanted online subscription. All right, this is something that's interesting. We're seeing this happen on mobile phones. It's happening to me. I am getting unsolicited text messages with links they're trying to sell me stuff. It's like if you got the telemarketer that calls your house and tries to sell you the widget or whatever, or change your long distance provider. I'm getting text messages with links for websites that want me to do stuff like that. Don't click on the links when you get those links, because sometimes when you click the link, it's actually setting you up for a subscription on your phone service that charges you monthly because you've opted in. Even though the link said nothing about opting in, you've been opted in. Congratulations. Let's see. Despite using machine learning to spot bad apps, in other words, they're trying to create an artificial intelligence that spots bad apps that try to get into the Google Play Store, they missed 50 of them, allowing rogue programs to rack up 4.2 million downloads between all 50. Google has now removed them, which enabled the fraudsters to make money by secretly sending messages to premium rate SMS services and subscribing users to paid online services without their knowledge. The apps were discovered by researchers at Checkpoint, who dubbed the malware Expensive Wall because one of the Trojanized apps was called Lovely Wallpaper. So if you downloaded an app on your Android device called Lovely Wallpaper, you could be a victim in this. The malware is a variant of malware found in the photography app discovered by McAfee last year. Once these apps are installed, they acquire the device's phone number and subscribe them to a range of paid services. One victim reported being charged $12 a month, according to a snapshot of one of their bills. Google has removed the apps. The security company provided a list of the infected apps on its website, which, because of the wonders of Facebook, I can immediately and with vigor share with you now. So let's go ahead and pop this in here real quick. But this is where you can go to look at that list of infected apps. You can see if you downloaded any of them. I'm looking for just the list here. I see a bunch of code and stuff. Give me the list. Here we go. Star Trek. Wallpaper. Toolbox. Horoscope International. Another wallpaper. All right, here are the app names. This will be easier. I Love Filter. Toolbox Pro. X Wallpaper. Horoscope. X Wallpaper Pro. Beautiful Camera. Color Camera. Love Photo. Tide Camera. Charming Camera, another horoscope one. DIY Your Screen, Ringtone, Safe Locker, Wi-Fi Booster, Cool Desktop, Useful Cube, Toolbox Pro, Useful Desktop, Horoscope 2.0, an improvement on 1.0. Yes Star, Shiny Camera, Simple Camera, Smiling Camera, Universal Camera, Amazing Toolbox, Easy Capture, Memory Doctor, Toolbox Pro, Reborn Beauty, as opposed to Original Born Beauty, Joy Photo. Do you have to die to be reborn in beauty? Fancy Camera, Amazing Photo, Amazing Camera. Camera apps are pretty. If you downloaded a camera app, pretty popular here. DD Player, Fascinating Camera, Universal Camera, Cream Camera, Looking Camera, DD Weather, Global Weather, Love Fitness, Pretty Pictures, Cool Wallpapers, Beauty Camera, Love Locker, Real Star, Magic Camera, Wonder Camera. You get the idea. I'm not going to read the rest of these. But if you downloaded any of the apps that are on that link, you were probably hit by this. So just pay attention to your bill and look for any fraudulent charges. Look for any fraudulent charges on there. Jim, I just saw something that said, am I late? I didn't see the comment, though. It rolled off. It doesn't allow me to cycle through them. So take a look at your bill if you've installed any of those apps recently. It's always a good idea to look at your bill. Just take a look and make sure that there's nothing on there that's costing you money every month that shouldn't be. All right, Gary writes on Facebook, I purchased the Safe Updater for the fall Windows 10 update. If I'm out of town, can these be activated or used when we return to home base? Yes, they can, Gary. What basically is going to happen is the Windows 10 Fall Creators Update will start to roll out on the 17th of October. That does not mean, gosh, that's a month from today. How did I miss that? That does not mean that they're all going to immediately install on everybody's computer like, boom, on the 17th. We have some customers who come into the service center who still don't have the spring update. So it's going to trickle out to people over time, which makes it really frustrating for us because on the radio, I can't get on here and say, watch out for this because it's going to hit you this week because it'll hit you 2 months from now. And you're like, I wish you'd have said something. I did 2 months ago, whatever's. Having the Schrock Safe upgrade, if you're going to be out of town on the 17th of October, just turn your computer off. Shut the lid on the laptop. Shut it down. Do whatever. Just make sure it's off or shut or sleeping or whatever. It won't install an update while it's asleep or shut down. When you get home, the Schrock Safe upgrade will you can run it, you can load it, it'll run it and do all the installing on your computer and get it all taken care of. Now, there's been some questions about how this is going to roll out. Right now, we have the software finished. The Schrock Safe upgrade software is done. We are just waiting right now for the actual update to be released on the 17th. So about a week or so before the 17th, we're going to actually release the update for download, the software, the Schrock Safe upgrade software for download. So you'll be able to go to your Schrock account at SchrockInnovations.com and download the software to your computer. And if you try to run it, it'll pop up and say, it's not ready yet. But you can try to run it, right? You can put your code in, you can get it all ready to rock and roll. So you're just ready to double click it. We'll send you an email. We'll be on the radio. That's why we're going to do it like a week before. We're going to pull all the triggers to let you know the software is ready and now is the time. You're going to download it, get it all taken care of. That's the time if you can't figure out your password to reset your password. That's the time if you say, hey, what's a Schrock account? You have questions like that. That's the week to ask them, not the week of the 17th, okay? So then everybody's ready to rock and roll in theory on the 17th. We then release the update. Once again, we're going to pull all the triggers. Run your software now. Do it now. Run it now. And it's going to go through and it's going to run. And the cool thing is we'll be able to see who has updated and who hasn't. So we're going to send emails and we're going to send targeted communications to them. We may even do a call fire. I hate robocalls, but it's effective. And then we'll do all the non-robocall-y things first and let all the people run it. And then when we get like those 12 people who just don't seem to understand what they're supposed to do, we might call them and just say, listen, can I walk you through this real quick? Make sure you get it good to go. The thing that blows my mind is in the last week, we have had, we started out, well, heck, we started the show with 188. And just during the program alone, we sold 5. So that usually we don't sell it while we're on air because people are in their car, people are on their way to church. Usually it's after the radio show when it gets crazy. But we went from something like 800 down to 180 something in the last week. So the clock is ticking. We still have plenty left. We're not going to sell out tomorrow. Next week we might. I don't know. So check it out. It's at Schrock Innovations. You can take it. We pinned the link there for you, the Schrock Safe Upgrade. Okay. Keith writes, using artificial intelligence to find artificial intelligence. Well, I don't know if the bad guys are really artificial. They're not viruses creating viruses. They're bad guys creating scams. So, yeah, they're using artificial intelligence to comb through all the data to try to find the bad guys who are scamming, for sure. All right, last call for any questions. Jim John, it says, or am I late? And that's all I can see on my screen. So you must have posted something before that. If you want to repost it here again, I can answer a question if you got one. But now's the time to post those questions before we roll it up for the afternoon here, or the morning, I guess. Almost feels like afternoon to me. And then we head back into the salt mines for some more work. The service centers are open today from noon to 5. Today is Sunday, so it'll be open from noon to 5. Every other day of the week, we're open from 10 in the morning until 8 in the evening. So you can stop into the service center with your computer. If you have something there for pickup, you can come in and get it. I'm trying to think of other things. The new Papillion Service Center. We had our project kickoff meeting this week where we were in the Bay talking about everything we want to do there. And it's just amazing. The team that they've put together, we had to do so much stuff on our own in the other service center. They just basically built the walls and said, here you go. And then we went to go put like the monitors on the wall, and we had to find like the metal studs, and then we had to drill into the metal studs. And it was a mess. Now, we're going to have backing for everything. We're mounting on the wall. It's going to be awesome. These guys are the cream of the crop. The service center is going to be slightly smaller footprint per square footage, but it's actually going to be more technologically capable than any other Schrock service center. So all of our service centers were designed around 2010, and we designed them to be state-of-the-art in 2010. Obviously, a lot's changed in the last 7 years. So the new Papillion Service Center is going to have those higher resolution displays on the walls in the tech areas so that we don't have to pull down our display model computer monitors, take them in the back to when somebody brings in a big gaming rig, we can have a good monitor on the wall to plug it into, as opposed to what was a good monitor 7 years ago. You know what I mean? The testing equipment in there is going to be superior. There is some possibility that we may expand into screen replacements and phone repairs. So we're looking into those possibilities as well moving forward. I'm not sure we're going to do that yet. We kind of had a gentleman's agreement with this is the dirt. This is what you tune in for, right? We had a gentleman's agreement with a cell phone repair shop that opened up near us. We even promoted them on the show for a while because they're really good guys. I love the guy that owns it. He's a great guy, good family, decent service. I've had a couple issues, but overall they've taken care of me. We had a gentleman's agreement. They were going to move in next door to us, and we won't repair phones, and they don't fix computers. And when we have someone who comes in looking for a phone repair, we send them to them. And when they have someone that comes in for a computer repair, they send them for us. Noticed on their website the other day that they're now fixing laptops. And it's not a one-off thing. When I've gone into their shop with my daughter's iPad speakers stopped working, so I took it in there. They treated me right. They did great. They opened it up. They reconnected. Apparently, they became unplugged somehow. They reconnected the speaker and sent it back out. Didn't even charge me for it. It worked for 2 whole days before it broke again. So now I have to take it back in. So I don't know what the deal is there. But anyway, but they didn't charge me, so I can't be too upset about it. But it does upset me a little bit that we kind of had an agreement, and well, all's fair in business and love and war and stuff, I guess. So now it's like, well, we've known for a while that the future of devices is mobile, and we're going to have to start fixing phone screens and doing stuff. It's not what we've done in the past. My technicians don't want to do it. It's a hassle because the turnaround times are intense. Like, you have to have it done in like an hour. as opposed to a computer repair where we have time to diagnose everything and make sure we have a holistic repair where you're not bringing it back in the next day with another problem. In a phone situation, you got to get it right in an hour. And people pressure you to get the phone done quick. And in that pressure, sometimes mistakes are made. So you have to have a wide variety of parts on hand, or you end up like what happened to me. I had a broken phone for 2 months because the phone repair place didn't have the right parts to fix it. And then they kept replacing it, and it kept not working because they didn't have any experience with that model, and it was a mess. So there's your Compute This dirt for the show today. We may be entering cell phone repair with a vengeance here soon. We'll see. All right, let's see. Tried Ollie and Hobbs this weekend, Bill writes. Thanks for the recommendation. Yeah, Ollie and Hobbs is our new neighbor. The new Papillion Service Center is going to be located at 84th and Highway 370 in the Midlands Place Park there. Ollie and Hobbs is a great restaurant there. Try them out. They're a craft kitchen, good stuff there. There's a sports clip there. You can get your hair cut. You can get dinner. There's a PenFed credit union. You can do your banking. There's a hotel there. Your family can come stay and not stay at your house. I mean, pretty much anything you want to do, you can find at Midland Place. It's pretty cool. There's a Jimmy John's there. You can eat sandwiches too. All right, Buster, your Monday morning show, The Morning Blend, what time to watch? Excellent question. We were preempted last week for hurricane coverage. So this week, I'm got an email here. Hold on, I'm looking for it. I believe it was 9:20. They wanted me there for a 9:30. Here it is, Kayla. I'm up at 9:35. She wants me there at 9:25-ish. See, I freak them out when I do TV. In TV, they want you there like 10 minutes early, cooling your heels in the green room, ready to go walk onto the set. And in radio, if I sit down in front of this microphone 10 seconds before I go on the air, that's a victory. So it's like the first time I did TV, I strolled in there at like 30 seconds before the segment was supposed to go on. And they're like, hurry up, get here quick. Oh my gosh. And I'm like, guys, what's wrong? We got like 30 seconds, man. We got all the time in the world. How was your weekend? And they're like freaking out. So I learned a little bit about TV people. You got to show up a little early. So now they send me these reminders. And I learned, like, if Kayla sends me the reminder that I'll be on at 9:35, I'll probably be on at 9:37. She knows me well enough to know that I might show up at 9:34. And if Mike sends me the reminder and he tells me I'm up at 9:35, I better be there in the chair with the mic on at 9:35. So now, last week we were going to talk about the Equifax thing, but that's kind of old news now. So I don't know this week. We haven't talked on the Morning Blend about the Schrock Safe Upgrade software having a release date of October 17. We might talk about that. I'm trying to see if there's anything else pressing or interesting that we can talk about. I mean, I could talk about Android malware, but everybody with an iPhone tunes out then. So, and all the guys on the set, Mike and, oh my gosh, I'm blanking on her name. Kelly. Mike and Kelly all have iPhones, so they're like, whatever, Android. So I got to come up with something that they all like. They all have MacBooks too, so that's kind of interesting. All right, let's see. Ronnie writes, that's the information I was asking about when I asked about the install. So I need to go to my Schrock account and get the installer after the email notification. That's correct. Once you have the Schrock account, will have your activation code. So when you buy the Schrock Safe Upgrade, your Schrock account will have the activation code that you can use to run your software. Otherwise, you can download it all day long. The download won't appear. Like, let's say you downloaded one, and then you send it off to your brother or something, and he tried to run it. Well, your code worked on your computer. It's not going to work on his computer, so he needs to buy his own code. So even if you circulate the installer without the code, it's useless. So you can get the installer really easily and the code from your Schrock account, SchrockInnovations.com. You can buy this software in the service center as well. You still need to have a Schrock account. So what we do is we take you to one of the front computers and one of the display models. We create a Schrock account for you. We get you logged in. We add the Schrock Safe Upgrade to the cart. We say check out at the front counter. You go over to the front counter and you pay there with your credit card, so you're not using your credit card online if you have a problem doing that. So the nice thing about this is, number one, if you buy one of these, you might have noticed we've spent an awful lot of time talking about this upgrade and this update, more so than we talked about the last three. Part of that is because the last three is burned me once, burned me twice. Okay, burned me 3 times. I'm tired of getting burned. So we're going to do something different. On the other hand, we're also building a list of people who value this type of service. When you buy this, you are going to be the people that get the initial notification next time around, because there's going to be another one in the spring. There's 2 of these every year. So you're going to get the next notification next time around. There's another update coming. before we go on the radio and talk about it, here's your link to go participate. We'll offer you a discount probably for being a previous purchaser of the Schrock Safe Upgrade software. There's some talk that we might roll this into a Schrock Desk subscription maybe. So we don't know that for sure yet. In the future, if you subscribe to the $30 a month Schrock Desk, maybe you get this automatically. We did decide this week if you're a corporate client, if you subscribe to our corporate services packages for your business, you're going to get these upgrades for free. That's part of your package you're going to get. So there are some possible things we're going to do there. The other question then is, in the future going forward, it's one thing to cover Windows updates under warranty. So think about if you bought an HP or a Dell or a Schrock computer and you had Windows 7 on it and you upgraded it to Windows 8. Is your Windows 8 installation covered under your original Schrock warranty? The answer is no, it's not, because you upgraded to Windows 8. This time around, we are allowing the Schrock warranties to apply to the computers even though they are getting these updates, because there's not a clean solution to this. Like, do we tell you, hey, you have a warranty until the spring? You got a 1-year warranty on everything, except for Windows. When you get that in the spring, you don't have a warranty anymore. So that's a problem. So we're trying to figure out how we're going to handle that going forward, because in the past we wouldn't have provided an upgrade or a warranty on an upgrade that you did at home on your own. If we do the upgrade, of course there's a warranty on it. So this is kind of the precursor to that. We're trying to feel out what the right thing to do here is, because there's the right business thing to do, and then there's what customers would love to see us do, which is just cover everything for free. And there's hey, I want my phone fixed for free, right? So I'm a customer too of other places. So, we want our stuff as cheap as we can get it, because, we work hard for our money. Businesses have to have income to pay their people, so they need to sell stuff. And somewhere in the middle, there's a point of reasonableness. And the problem is that point in the middle is different for every person. So no matter where we lay that marker down, there's going to be someone on the wrong side of it that's upset with us. And I don't know. My staff makes fun of me because when we send a mass email, some people click the unsubscribe link and I get a notification that somebody unsubscribed. And I had to make Alfonso turn those off because it was really depressing to me. Because it's like, I send these out with my real email address. So like if people reply to it, they talk to me. Like I'm at home on the weekends, like emailing people back. Out at the apple orchard, emailing people back. It's, hey, yeah, here, get that apple to click. Oh, hey, hold on. Someone needs an email. And then they unsubscribe and it's like, and Alfonso's like, Lord, no, it's no personal. You take it too personal. And I'm like, I know I do. But I want to help people. The big push I've had with my staff this week is protect your customers. Some of my guys are like, I hate running up tab on someone. They come in with a bad hard drive, which during the show, I didn't want to do this because it's kind of creepy on air. But just to give you guys a heads up, during the show, Anita W., if you're watching right now, your hard drive failed during the show. Anita W. has a bad drive. This is all the information I get. I won't say the name, but it's an HP computer. Is having problems on drive C. It has dropped to 98%. Here's her contact information. So Anita W., if you're watching right now, your hard drive started to die while you were watching the show today. That's how fast this can happen. So get Drive Advisor, guys. It's easy, super easy. And it'll keep your stuff monitored. So, all right. Now I'm kind of rambling. So let's take a look and see. Let's make sure I don't have any other questions here. No problem, Ronnie. Glad to help. And last call for questions, guys. Last call. If you have anything to put up there, we're going to end it here in a couple minutes. Gone 25 minutes over already. So my wife's going to be looking for me soon. And I'm starting to lose my voice, apparently. Even my watch wants me to talk to it. That's super weird. All right. So Papillion Service Center, projected open date for the new shop is going to be November. The holiday special, I've had calls about the holiday special already. We are evaluating the Dell computer. I had one person that specified they did not want the Dell machine. Everybody else said if it's a better computer, it's a better computer, especially if you're not relying on Dell's service. If we're relying on Schrock's service, then if it's a better computer, great, no problem. So we're going to be evaluating a couple Dell models this month to decide on the laptop model. The desktop model is going to be a Ryzen chip, which probably means Greek to everybody watching, but the Ryzen chips are amazing. We're talking a 6-fold improvement over the power of last year's holiday special. Do you know how long it's been since we have had a radical jump in power? Like radical. Everything's been incremental. Every year it gets better and better, but this is like the curve is going like this, and now it just went bam, straight up. Memory is faster. Hard drive is faster. Processor is mondo faster. Motherboard is faster. Wi-Fi is faster. I mean, this computer is easily going to be the most powerful computer we've ever built at Schrock. It's mind-blowing. It's going to sell for $14.99 as it does every year. The desktop monitor or model comes complete. It's a tower monitor, keyboard, mouse. The speakers are built into the monitor. The laptop is, of course, a complete system because it's a laptop. And we're going to have those limited quantity, 150. We usually start that sale toward the end of October. So if you're waiting for it, if we launch it before Halloween, people get upset with us. They're like, the holiday special. It's not even Halloween yet. You're talking about Christmas. People get upset about that. And we don't like to upset people. So we try to wait till after Halloween. But I'm going to be actually on vacation in November for Thanksgiving. So we have a very small window. We will be decorating service centers at the start of November before Thanksgiving. So I apologize in advance. If it makes you feel better, we'll call it a winter tree. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching the program today. Thanks for being a part of the show. I appreciate it. It's comforting to know that I'm not talking to myself, especially the first half. When nobody called in, I was like, oh my gosh, is everybody having a football hangover? What's going on? But thanks for being a part of the show. We appreciate it. If you would just take a moment on Facebook, this is huge for us. If you can share this, I know a couple of you already have, but if you can click that share button and share this on your timeline with your friends and family, that is how we spread the show on Facebook. One of the challenges that we have, and we talked about this week with my staff, how do you reach people anymore? You know, there's radio, there's terrestrial radio. We're having a heck of a problem with our Lincoln show. That radio station has just gone down the tubes, apparently. I mean, I don't know what they've whatever. I don't want to get too much into the politics, but there's less than 100 people listening to that station, according to the book. And then we've had more changes to the show that were not our changes, that were just circumstantial changes that will probably lower that even more. And there's not really any other great stations to go to over there in Lincoln. You know, there's a couple you can move, one other one you can move to. They have about 100, 150 people, you know, so it's just like, what do you do with that? Do you run TV ads? I don't know. I saw one of our competitors running TV ads and it made me laugh because there literally was like a laundry list of everything they do in their shop. And I'm just like, oh, I remember making those rookie mistakes when I was starting out, where you'd run a commercial that was a laundry list of everything. Nobody remembers any of it. How do you reach people? Do you do Facebook ads? Do you do online ads like Google ads? Spending $500 a week on Google ads right now just for data recovery. And it works. We get some business in from that. But honestly, guys, the way that we try to reach people, the thing that I've been convinced works the best over time is giving people information, being sincere, being honest, and really just trying to be entertaining, fun, and informative, and help you out when you have a problem. So I try to spread that message. The problem is, if no one ever knows the content is there, they can't ever watch. And so we see all these people joining us from across the country, and it warms my heart. So if you could take a moment, click the share button and just share it with your friends and family. It won't intrude on their timeline. If they don't like it, if they literally skim over it and don't even look, next time you share it, they won't see it. That's one of the big myths, that you see everything that's shared. It doesn't happen that way. So anyway, take a moment to share it. I really appreciate it. And then, the bus benches. Buster, you saw the ad on the bus benches. Yeah, my wife, when I told her we were going to do that, she was like, Thor, really? Do you think people take the bus in with their broken computer to get their computer fixed? What the heck are you? Like, it's not for the people sitting on the bench. It's for the people who drive by the bench. It's great. We actually got a Better Business Bureau complaint about our bus bench. He says free computer repair on it. And we have a new customer coupon. Your first hour labor is free. We had to go respond to that. And it's just like, seriously, you try to give away $110 to a person for coming in just so they can experience the service and learn about the program and get involved. And they file a Better Business Bureau. I don't even know if they actually came in or if they just filed the complaint. I don't know. But thanks for noticing, Buster. We're trying to do some things. We also have the register receipt tapes at Hy-Vee. Flip over your receipt tape, you'll see a Schrock ad there. It's pretty cool stuff. So, all right, got to wrap it up, guys. Thank you very much for being here. Thanks for sharing that. We'll talk to you again on Monday at the Omaha Morning Blend, KMTV Channel 3. If you're outside the Omaha viewing area, we'll put it up on Facebook for you. Have a great day, guys.